we run by very small structures, run by the professional. We only have 4 divisions, only finance, community affairs, engineering, and security. Many of the security is already outsourced. The engineer, we only keep the head, the professional that really know about the landscape, about the water, about the engineering system, but we only have the head that we would like to retain. All of them is actually run by the outsource as well as the consultant that helping us. One great job that we did is actually the community affair. In Lippo Village, actually we acknowledge 24/7 complaint that we have to respond in 3 minutes. Wherever you have a problem in your house, the water, the plumbing, they say, you call to our number 24/7, we have to come to your house in 3 minutes. Then we have to know about the problem, and then we will tell you how long that we'll fix it. Yeah. I must say that the HDB people coming to us 5-6 years ago, they taking a look at our community affairs on that, and then after 3 years after that, the Jurong teams coming to us and try to sell this the community things. Right now, the HDB in Singapore is already a centralized system. In the HDB centralized system, they can check on every elevator, on every temperatures, each of the HDB. Actually, we've been talking a lot with them by how to really have this kind of structures and management system that control the township. So right now they keep coming back to us trying to sell their service. They already success actually in Singapore. It's great actually what they did. Yes?
I hope I'm interrupting you, but so you have the security division, and then you also showed images earlier, there's a lot of public space and so on, a lot of lawns, trees. So what happens if there's a, like in case of misdemeanor, what happens if there's some kind of crime, some kind of unrest? Whose problem is this? Is it yours or the government or the police of Indonesia?
Yeah. Whatever happens to our town, we have to really get to the problem. So we really have to solve the problem. Let's say in the early that we built the township, the vulgarity is quite high actually. But then we try to survey, try to understand what happens. Then we acknowledge that when we build a township, many of the workers, contractors actually stay in our township. So we set a regulation that after 6 o'clock, all the workers have to get out. So the contractor has to provide the accommodation outside our town. And the criminal is just going down. Some of the problem, thief, robbery and everything in Asia, I can say that we live side by the villagers. So whatever happens in that kind of compound, they will know. We're actually going break down the property and so on. They will know. So at the end of the day, you have to really maintain a lot of senior people in the village, have a good relation on them, and then you reduce your problem.
The thing is this, you see, somebody is stealing something, housebreaking, right? Your security man, can they arrest someone?
We can catch the guy, but we don't have legal power to really put them in jail. So we work together with the police. Right. The law enforcement is actually come up from the police. We don't have law enforcement. We can caught the guy, but we cannot retain him. I have to hand it over, but I also can control the police and I can control the things. Yeah, for sure, yes.
But what about water? Is it the same kind of philosophy, you know, that you buy raw water from the government and you treat them?
Right now,
or do you, I mean, the water is a public resource, isn't it? I mean, like the rain comes, it goes somewhere, and it belongs to the people, and then you take it and you treat it, and then you sell it
Right now,
at a profit.
right now, the best idea that can happen here in Serpong area is take the water from the river. We have to get permission from the water body to take the bulk water from the river. Yeah, they will calculate how much water that you can take from the river. But actually, the river will go to the sea at the end of the day. It's just gone, you know. But as far as the discussion with the water engineer, the best way to really recycle your water is from your domestic from your toilets, because that is organic. Yeah. I believe that Singapore is already did that, but they don't really say it. Actually, all your toilet water coming to one of the lake in Singapore, and they take it the lake from that. That's the safest way. That's the cheapest way to do that, because everything is just organic.
Yeah, but do you, when you take the water from the river, how much do you pay back to the community? Do you give anything back to the community?
The thing is like this: the water in the river is actually nothing to do with the community. The water will go to the sea.
But it's still the community. You take the water, you treat the water, and then you sell the water to your residents, right?
Only to our residents.
Yeah. And you make money so that you can maintain Lippo City.
Right. The whole thing about going back to the people come from the big CSR of our township management.
Yeah.
Not only that, you take the water from the river, then you have to taking care of the huge village around you. At the end of the day, you will have a problem in the in the financing on that, right?
Yeah, but that water is also, I mean, you know, the raw materials, you know,
Sure.
to make something. You know,
Sure.
Sure.
What we did, yeah.
It's a common, you know.
Yeah.
It belongs to people.
Sure. What we did right now, like our development in Kampungs village, is 12 hectares development integrated. We have about 12 towers of the apartments, 2 hotels, 80,000 GFA more. It's actually, when we came to the government, we already, because the site is actually side by side by the river. So whatever you build there, it's actually the water will flooding into the river.
So in some sense, you exploited the loophole that the government has not been able to put a price on these things rather than water as a public resource. That they don't price it, so you make money on it to your benefit.
No, actually they price it. Whatever you take the water from the river, they charge you.
Oh, they charge you?
They charge you.
Oh, so there is a certain amount.
There is a certain amount of money that I have to pay to the water body, but from the bulk water from the river, I have to pay.
Okay.
Right.
Then what about the highway? Who builds the highway?
The central, the government, the highway body is actually built the highway system. What we can do is try to see within their plan is actually if we can have the interchange. We have to discuss with them, and then they will with the macro master plan. You would know where they will have that kind of interchange happening. So what we did is actually we just tap into that interchange. Right.
So this highway goes all the way westwards to connect to the new. There's a bridge going to be built, right, to link Sumatra to Java.
Yeah.
So all this is going to link up this way.
If we're taking a look at the Java, and then Sumatra, right. It's actually, if as an urban planner, what I'm thinking is not only the road that really connected Sumatra and Java. If I have the train connection as go along with that bridge, and I can connect in Penang, somewhere in Sumatra to Malaysia, then I can connect to China.
Well, in fact, they're connecting it. They're doing it.
They're doing only road, actually.
But they also, I think the Chinese railway company has invested. Apparently, they have invested something like Aceh. We're going to build a railway down.
Okay, that's one good thing that Sumatra have that kind of railway. But somewhere in the railway in Medan, probably, or in that can really connect it to Selat Malaka, then I connect to Asia. Then Jakarta connect to
There is a plan also to connect.
right, even connect to Russia. Yeah, I can go to Europe by train. That's one of the big things that we have to think about.
But they're bypassing Singapore.
But passing Singapore with a lot of tax, no lah. I'm passing Malaysia. No, just kidding. Okay, going on. We're already talking about this. Going on. Going on. So, yeah, you already talked this. So if you, yes. Waste disposal, many of the time right now is still by the recycler. So all the plastic and the domestic thing that can be recycled, we keep it up. But right now comes the more thinking is how to recycle in the organic things. That the organic thing is the one that really create the methane, create the global climate. So if it works by we already calculate if it works by ourselves, only having 70,000 population and recycling the organic things, it won't fit. So actually we need massive volume. Like say one of the province of the Banten or one of the city of Tangerang, which is 5 million people, that really have that kind of plant and then recycle the methane. So at the end of the day, we really try to always open discussion with the government to really having this recycle thing. The recycle things, you need that kind of mass. Right now, whatever you do can recycle to the organic things and then become a fertilizer, you going like that. Because one of the things that we did on our sewer treatment plant, we recycle by the bacteria. The bacteria that is actually divided into two. The one that really likes oxygen, the one who really not like oxygen. The one that creating the non-oxygen one will create smell, but the one that like the oxygen one can create a better environment. So that's why we have 4 big tanks in our sewer treatment plant. It's actually we just rolling out the water, so all the oxygens can coming in, so we can recycle the water. But at the end you have the sludge, the rest of the sludge. It's very thin actually, the sludge. We will dry the sludge and make fertilizer on it.
What was the collection system?
The collection system is the graffiti pump, the graffiti pipe going to our. Yes, yes. Wherever you have down, you have to pump up, and then you put the graffiti.
Solid waste.
Solid waste.
But what is now your policy with the villages, where you have lots of kampongs? So what is the present policy of Lippo with the kampong?
The thing is like this. What we've done so far is actually quite great things actually. The villages right now having a lot of economic coming into the village. We used to live side by side with one of the biggest low-class housing in Jakarta, which is north to Tangerang. Used to be everything is just housing. So right now, in the sense that we opening our CBD area, many of them is actually having employment in our mall and our hotel and so on. And right now, as you can see in that area, the economy is just growing. Right now, from the just merely a housing, right now they have restaurant. You can find many restaurants over there. They can start accommodation business. They just doing really good on that side. Yeah.